I had a great piece of good fortune recently. I managed to pick up 4 pieces of ash, all similar in size to this, for £60. I mean, that's just such a bargain. You'd pay 60 quid for one piece. 65mm thick. It's got a little bit of cupping in it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Can't afford to turn down a bargain. So I'm going to show you now how I turned this into this using just the equipment I have in my 8 foot by 6 foot shed. I'm going to start off on my little but extremely useful bandsaw. First thing I've got to do is wrestle with this piece of wood and get a straight-ish edge on here. As you can see, it's pretty much on the limit of the bandsaw. But hey, let's give it a go. That's pretty good actually. I'm really surprised how well that went. This is just from a local hardware store, Screwfix. Can't remember how much it cost, but it was less than £200. So yeah, worked reasonably well. No complaints at all. Right, this is going to be a bit more of a challenging cut. So because my thickness planer can only take boards 330mm wide, and these boards are slightly wider, I'm going to have to take a slice off the length of it. So I've set up a fence on the bandsaw, very thin cut. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so once again, surprised by this little bandsaw. It didn't work with the fence on. I don't know if you could see it on the video, but the board was pushing the blade against the fence, so I couldn't get a start. So I ended up just having to do it freehand. But yeah, it took that thickness and it's done a job. Let's hope it's sufficient and I don't have to try and, well, I could plane I suppose. But right, let's move on. Now, one of the drawbacks on having such a small workspace is you've constantly got to keep moving stuff around. Like I've got to take the bandsaw out to get the planer in and whatnot, but it actually worked, so it now fits between the guides. Snug, but it fits. So we can proceed. Okay, so as I said earlier, there's a bit of a wobble in this board. It's got a bit of curvature in it. So obviously if I put that through my planer, thickness planer, all I'm going to do is make it thinner, but still have a wobble in it. So what I've got is a board here, a flat board with a stop. So I'll butt this up against the stop. I'll put wedges around to take the wobble out. And then I'll put this whole assembly through the planer and flatten one side. I can then take it off the board, put it through itself, and in thickness, cutting the other side, referencing it to the flat. I suppose the top surface then becomes a datum for the underside, and that way I get a nice flat board down to the thickness I want. So I'm going to pop in some wedges around about and fix it in position, and then we'll get on with the surface planing. Okay, so that's a bit of a lash up. Got all the wedges in there, keeping it against the stop. A couple under here, and a couple under here. Maybe just glue a couple of blocks in there just to prevent it moving this way should it want to go. And then we're good to try it. Okay, so that's now nice and stable in there. I'm actually going to set this up inside because I don't have room in the shed to actually work this length. So yeah, I'll come back when I've got it all set up. Okay, so I have got my vacuum set up here, connected to the planer set up on Workmate, and we're good to go. So gears on, safety glasses on, let's go. Okay, that's a few passes and that's got a reasonably flat surface there. Flat enough to mill the other side from, so we'll get it taken off and get down to thickness. Okay, so that's it, milled down to it's about 46mm, some nice figuring in there. Planer on the other side, but still very nice. Absolute bargain, 4 pieces for 60 quid. I can't believe how lucky I was getting that. And just to show, it's now stable, where before it was wobbling. So the process worked, that's good. Just got the rest of the mill up now. And it's certainly wide enough for, well, for at least a Telecaster body. It's just a pity they weren't a bit longer and I could have got 2 out of them, but hey, can't have everything. I dare say I could always make something wider than that by book matching the end section onto the sides, but anyway, at the moment I'm happy. Okay, so I've drawn the template on. I'm now going to take it to the bandsaw and cut around as close to the line as I can before I router it. Okay, so it's well worth spending a little time and getting it as close to the line as you can and then taking off any high spots. It reduces the chance of tear out when you go into the router. So I'll get the template fitted. I'm just going to fit it using masking tape and super glue. I won't explain that process to you, I'm sure you've seen it 100 times before. If anybody doesn't know it and wants to know, just stick a comment in and I'll explain what I'm doing. So that's what I'll do. I'll get that template on and then we'll get it onto the router. Okay, so that's the template fixed, held fast, ready for routing. Okay, so this is the big scary cutter. I've got the template set to run on the top bearing. Ear defenders, safety glasses. Let's get going. Okay, so that's pretty good. The template, there's just a bit in here where that large diameter cutter can't get in, so I'm going to change the cutter, get that tidied up, and then we'll get on to routing the template, the pickups and cavity template. Okay, so while I've got the template on and in position, I'm going to route out these cavities. I'm not going to take them full depth just now, I'm just going to take them deep enough so that I wouldn't need to put the template back on again. Okay, so that's all the body cavities routed. They're not down to final depth, but they're deep enough to allow me to take the template off. Before I do that, all important centre line. I'm going to mark that one first. There we have it. What a beautiful figure on that piece of wood. Okay, so that's been a busy day. That is my bargain lumber all milled down and one body routed. They're all about 46mm thick, and all of them are wide enough to get a telly body on, apart from one that's very, very close. This one here, actually, you can see on the width. It's just, now I could reprofile the body to suit, or I could potentially use some of the timber here and widen it and then make it a 2 or 3 piece body. I'll see how I go when I get to that one. This is probably my favourite piece. Again, plenty spare, unfortunately not enough for another body, but yeah, I'm sure you'll agree, for £60, absolute bargain. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, people, and snap up these bargains when they come your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the rest of my Johnny Marr build shortly.